Hello and welcome to Unlock Your True Potential. Before we begin today's powerful story, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another inspiring story that can change your life. And at the end, don't forget to share this video with someone who needs a reminder that no pain lasts forever and that every struggle has a purpose. Now let me take you on a journey of a young girl who grew up in poverty, faced abuse, rejection, and loss, yet rose to become one of the most powerful, influential, and inspiring women in the world. This is not just the story of Oprah Winfrey. It's the story of what happens when pain is transformed into power, when wounds become wisdom, and when faith in oneself becomes unstoppable. Oprah Gail Winfrey was born in rural Mississippi in 1954 to a teenage mother who struggled to make ends meet. She grew up wearing dresses made of potato sacks because that was all they could afford. She lived with her grandmother for the first few years of her life in a small wooden house with no running water and no electricity. Her grandmother taught her how to read at an early age and encouraged her to speak in church, planting the first seeds of communication that would one day touch millions of hearts. But childhood was not easy for Oprah. When she was just 6 years old, she moved to Milwaukee to live with her mother, who worked as a maid and was barely around. It was during these years that Oprah's life took a dark turn. She faced repeated abuse, neglect, and trauma that no child should ever experience. By the time she was 14, she ran away from home, broken and hopeless, trying to escape the pain of her environment. Shortly after, she gave birth to a premature baby who sadly died in infancy. It was the lowest point of her life, a time when she felt completely invisible to the world. But life, as harsh as it was, had not given up on her. Even in her suffering, a small voice inside her kept whispering, "You are meant for more." That whisper became her guiding light. After her baby's death, Oprah moved to live with her father in Nashville, Tennessee. Her father, Vernon Winfrey, was strict but disciplined. He believed in education, responsibility, and structure, things Oprah had never really known before. He made her read books every week and write reports about what she learned. At first, she resisted. But soon, she began to see that reading and learning gave her power. It gave her a sense of control over her life, something she had lost as a child. She started excelling in school and found her voice again through public speaking and debate competitions. Her teachers began to notice her confidence, her presence, and her ability to move people with words. That was the beginning of something extraordinary. At just 17 years old, Oprah won a scholarship to Tennessee State University. She majored in communications and began working part-time at a local radio station. Her natural charisma and authenticity shone through every broadcast. She wasn't trying to sound perfect. She was real, emotional, and genuine, and people felt that. That's what made her special. Soon, she got her first television job as a news anchor. But not everyone believed in her. Some told her she was too emotional for TV, too soft, too expressive, too real. And when she was fired from one of her first anchor jobs, she was devastated. But that moment, that rejection, became her redirection. She realized that maybe she wasn't meant to report the news. Maybe she was meant to tell stories, to connect, to heal, to inspire. That realization led her to daytime television, and it was there, on a small talk show in Chicago called AM Chicago, that Oprah found her purpose. Within months, the show skyrocketed in ratings. People saw themselves in her. She wasn't pretending to be perfect. She cried when her guests cried. She laughed when they laughed. She cared. And in a world where television was about image and illusion, Oprah brought truth and humanity. Her authenticity became her superpower. In 1986, The Oprah Winfrey Show was born, and what began as a local program became one of the most influential shows in the world, running for 25 years and changing the landscape of television forever. But Oprah's journey was never just about fame or success. It was about service. Using her platform to uplift others. She brought conversations about race, trauma, forgiveness, and healing into people's living rooms. She gave a voice to those who had been silenced. She inspired people to believe that no matter what they had been through, they could rise above it. Through her honesty, she taught us that vulnerability is strength. Through her compassion, she showed us that leadership is about empathy. And through her faith, she proved that purpose is born through pain. But her journey wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual. Oprah often talks about how every event in her life, no matter how painful, was leading her towards something greater. She says, "Everything that has ever happened to you was preparing you for the moment that is to come." Those words didn't just come from a place of success. They came from a woman who had known suffering, loss, and humiliation. Yet instead of letting those experiences destroy her, she allowed them to refine her. One of the most powerful aspects of Oprah's life is her belief in the law of cause and effect, that the energy you put into the world always returns to you. She built her empire on kindness, authenticity, and giving. From launching her own television network to building schools for girls in Africa, Oprah used her success to serve others. Because she understood that true success isn't about what you have, it's about what you give. And perhaps that's what makes her story so universal. We all face pain. We all go through moments where we question our worth or purpose. But Oprah reminds us that our past does not define our future. That what breaks you can also build you. When you look at her life now, a billionaire, a philanthropist, a global icon, it's easy to forget that she was once that little girl in a potato sack dress, wondering if life would ever be kind to her. But every scar she carried became a source of strength. Every heartbreak became a lesson. Every setback became a stepping stone toward destiny. And that is the essence of unlocking your true potential. It's not about living a perfect life. It's about embracing your imperfect journey and realizing that your pain has purpose. So ask yourself, what is your pain trying to teach you? What if the hardest things you've been through were preparing you for your greatest breakthrough? What if your story, no matter how dark, could become someone else's light? Oprah once said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." That is the foundation of transformation. That's how you rise. That's how you evolve. That's how you inspire. And you don't need to be famous to make a difference. You don't need to have a platform or a TV show. You just need courage, the courage to heal, to forgive, to move forward, and to keep believing that you are meant for more. Because if Oprah could rise from nothing, from poverty, pain, and loss, then so can you. Her story is not just a reminder of what's possible. It's proof that no matter where you start, you have the power to rewrite your ending. When the world tells you you're not enough, remember that every great story starts with struggle. When people doubt you, remember that rejection is redirection. And when life feels unbearable, remember that some of the most beautiful souls are forged in fire. You have a purpose. You have a story. You have a light the world needs. But it's up to you to let it shine. So if you're listening to this, take a deep breath and tell yourself, I am not my past. I am not my pain. I am not my circumstances. I am potential waiting to be unleashed. And maybe, just maybe, one day your story will inspire millions too. So if this story moved you, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Share your thoughts in the comments. What lesson did Oprah's life teach you today? And if you believe in your own power to rise, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to unlock your true potential, and turn on notifications for more powerful stories every week. Because your story isn't over, it's just beginning. Until next time, keep believing, keep growing, and keep unlocking your true potential.